Cool. So let me see if there is a way for me to screen share. I think, here we go. Share screen. Let me know. Let me know if can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So what was it? Do you have any properties right now that you're looking at? I know like that one that you sent me. I'm just trying to pull up an example that maybe you had tried to comment previously already. And am I right, or does this show like 3 different of the same thing right there? Okay, is that just me, or is that like?
No, it's showing 3 of the same thing, or a bunch of them now.
I don't know what is going on there. Hold on. Share screen. Window. Okay, maybe this will be better. Nope. Well, is it regular now if you're looking at it?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah. So, I guess Do you have a deal that you can that you want to pull up the address of, or do you want me to use one of my current deals?
Yeah, go and use one of yours because I'm not like in my office right now, so.
Okay. You have an office at home, or?
Well, I have a room I consider my office, like where my desk is.
Okay, yeah, that's what I have as well. I prefer to work outside of my house, so what was that? I just sent out a deal that's been getting a ton of traction already this morning. Actually, I'm giving them a call. It's a JV deal, so I'm giving a DTS wholesaler a call because I have a couple people who want to walk it. So I'll go ahead and pull up that address.
All right.
Let's see, Markle. Okay. And also, I don't know if you saw, but I did send you a link to
the spreadsheet.
Huh? No. So I sent you a link this morning to set up an email account.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So if you go to Redfin, and I think you can do this on Zillow too if you prefer Zillow, but I think it's easier on Redfin. How do you go to the map? Is it here? No. How do I go to the map? Okay, actually, hold on. Let me just do it like this. 1112 East Markwood. How the fuck? Okay, hold on. Okay, give me a second. I do not know how to go to, because I usually use Zillow. I think it's, well, let's try it on Zillow. I think you can do the same thing on Zillow. Yeah. So, and so this will be for the comps. So it's right here, it doesn't have the best information. It says it's a 2-bed, doesn't even tell you the bath. It's actually a 3-bed, 1-bath. So what you're going to do is okay, here we go. So go to sold, and this is a 3-1. So you go to 3-1, obviously. Price, you don't put that in. Home type, you want to select the home type that it is. Put house, because this one's a house. And then this one does not have an HOA. Let me just keep that at any. And I do not believe our comp our property that we are disposing has a garage. Let's see. 1112. Yeah, this isn't. Well, looks like it might have a detached garage. Garage. Okay, yeah, no garage. Oh, you just muted yourself. So no garage. So you're gonna put keep it here. Okay. So then now you have all these comps. You have 35 results. And actually, let me put in the square footage too. What is the square footage? 1792. Okay, so also you see it's a 1792 square footage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 15 to 2000. And it's a older build. It's a 19, I think that said 19 year build. So you're going to go like 1900 to 1920. Yeah. And then after that, really you have this one comp that's a little bit far away. But that kind of right here is, this one comp, it's, hold on. I keep having to refer back. Okay, so this one's a little bit bigger. It has one more bedroom. It has a little bit like 140 square feet more. It was let's see what the year build is, 1918. So it's a little bit newer. So, obviously this one might be worth a bit more. It has one more bathroom. This property that we are working on, she suggested that you can add a bedroom and you can add a bathroom. So it has a lot of value add potential. And it has a $95,000. And you might have received the email on it actually as well this morning. It has a $95,000. What's it called? And actually, hold on. One more thing we need to put in, and I think that actually might just remove that. So 6 months. Yeah, so that removes that. And then let me put the address in here again. Cool. So then you have this comp. It's actually a little bit smaller. It looks like it may be newer. Let's see what the year build is. So year build 1911. So around the same thing. So this is actually a really, really good comp. It's a little bit smaller. It's like 100 square feet smaller. 1 year newer. It's another thing you want to look for is, so where is this one at on the street? I'm trying to. I cannot tell what this one is at. So East Thompson Road, where is East Thompson on here? Anyway, I cannot see where it is at, but the main point I'm trying to make is if our target property is right here and you have a property that's here, as you can see, like we have way different or slightly different price range. So if they're on if they're on the main street, then that'll affect the value. That'll make it less valuable. Or if they're across the main street, that'll also make it less valuable. So, here we have Madison Ave, obviously a large street. You zoom out. Well, I zoom out and it takes away the prices. You zoom out, you see the prices are a little bit lower over on this side than they are on this side. So that's really something to watch for. So you don't want to break that boundary on the comps. I will try and set you guys up with, because I run comps actually on the MLS, and that's a lot easier. You have all the data you need. But this is one way to run comps, and then another way, so with this again, so this comp would be looking at it. So actually, this is a perfect comp, yeah. So because this, as you can tell, if you're looking at it, you can tell it's staged. You can tell, it has all these, it has all these plants and bed made and all that. If someone was living there, it would not be like that. It would have maybe some stuff lying around or whatever. So this one was actually recently flipped. So it says sold on 7/19/2023. It was flipped like about 5 months ago or 4.5 months ago. And let's see if we can find the history and details. Where is the history? Here we go. Okay. Cool. So we see that it was, okay. No, it looks like this was the same owner because, so this was the same owner. Show more, sold. Here we go. So he bought it for $74,000. We can't see, and I can see, Yeah, I can see what went into it. You can't, not being on MLS, but I can go back to previous purchases. And actually, let's do that real quick. BLC Connect. Yeah. Let's do that real quick. My Bar Central login. Oh, come on, don't do that right now. Okay. So it is, what is the address? 1907 East Thompson's Road. And this is really, I would say, honestly, this is kind of more just to show you how you can see how much has gone into it, how much money has gone into it. But if you want to do this, you can look up 109 East Thompson Road. Maybe this one. Okay, so $74,000. Here are the pictures of that property back then. You can see, it needs maybe new flooring, needs to be repainted. Not sure what's going on here. Definitely needs maybe something up there, whatever that is. Overall, looks like maybe a medium rehab. This flooring probably needs to come up. Might be bad lighting, but looks like maybe something wrong with that ceiling. Can't tell for sure. But yeah, it looks like a lot of flooring interior. If you zoom in, it looks like maybe that was a burnout. Maybe. Can't really tell without walking it. But I mean, now, obviously, if you go back here, big difference. And I mean, they even painted the exterior, as you can tell. And so they bought it originally for $74,000, looking like this. Then they flipped it a few months ago for $194,000. And so that can kind of tell you what comps in the area will sell for. So actually, we have the comp a bit higher. As I said, ours has the space, has the room, and actually it looks like this one has a garage as well. Maybe that was an 80 or added on. I don't know if that was on there before. I didn't see any garage here. So garage is usually, and it depends on the area, but garage usually is between $5,000 to $10,000. So really, yeah, this is a good comp. But another way, and this is another free way you can run comps, is going to PropWire. There's another one called Propstream, and then another one that's just for comps. That's called Privy. But I have a few tools like this, but not that one specifically. And let's log in. Remind me later. Okay, and now that you're here, you can basically do the same thing. Single family homes, plus minus 5%. Same number of bedrooms, preferably. I really don't. Lot doesn't matter too much. So yeah, you can just keep that at any lot. Any year build. Okay, so really that actually got rid of a lot of comps. Okay. So actually, yeah. So right here, we still only have one comp. And we see that was sold at 170. If you go over it, let's see what it looks like. And it does not look like anything. Okay, cool. 744 East Markwood. Yeah, so you cannot really tell what this one looks like, but if it were sold on market as like a top dollar property, most likely it would be sold. Let's go to any square foot. Okay, so if we go to any square foot, that gives us more comps. Just make sure it's sold in the last 6 months, especially with how the market is right now. And then obviously, so, this one is 896, so way smaller than ours, but somehow it's sold at 172. And so you go here, this one probably, and that seems really, really small. I'm not sure if that's actually, that might be inaccurate, but it looks, yeah. So let's go 925 East Markwood Ave. Let me know if you have any questions too. Okay, so this one, again, this looks like most likely it was a flip. sold on 7/7/2023. Let's see. What is the history on this one? History. Okay, no, not public tax. Price. Here we go. Sold. And then it was sold. Looks like, okay, so this one maybe be a little bit different. Bought it for 107. Maybe probably didn't put too much work into it. Then sold it a year ago for 172. And so what I'm assuming happened with this one, because most flips don't take 4 years. What I'm assuming happened with this one is kind of a tired landlord situation where they used it for a few years as a rental. They no longer wanted to rent it out. And actually you see this right here, 540, which seems very, very low. I don't think anywhere rents are 540. Actually, hold on. I zoomed out too much. There we go. Yeah, so you see here 1,000. Most likely they were trying to rent it at $1,000. And then they rented it out for a few years, decided they don't no longer want to rent. Maybe they had some issues with a tenant, whatever. 7/7/2023, they sold it. So that's another comp. So we can add that as a comp. And now, this gives us a 344,000 comp base value, which is not accurate. And so actually, hold on. Let's see the actual. Okay, so 1,344 square foot. So where is my phone at? 1,344 square feet. So where is this at? 192. Well, I guess it wouldn't be 192. Okay. So let's see. It's 172,000 divided by 1,344. That gives you a price of $127. Well, about $128 per square foot. And so let's take 128 and multiply that by our target property, which is the 1112 East Markwood Ave. And if you remember, this one was 1,792 square feet. So 1,792 square feet times 128, that gives us a total valuation of $229,375. And then what you want to do is you want to keep finding comps like that one that are similar. So, and that will give you the ARV. And then all you have to do is calculate a rehab, which I think, like I said, I have a calculator for rehab that I can give you. If I don't have that calculator anymore, what I can do is I can just give you guys the basic usual calculations for how much is a garage, how much is a roof, how much is it to redo flooring, how much is it to redo appliances, et cetera, and so on. Now, we've been over that. Caden, do you have any questions?
If one of my questions was going to be how to calculate rehab, but I mean, if you have a tool for that, awesome.
Yeah. So, and let me look. I'm not sure. I may or may not have that calculator anymore. But really, it's pretty simple. I have it. If I don't have an actual calculator for it, I have it in my notes somewhere, and I'll get that out to you guys. I did create a drive, which I'll share with you guys. It has a cash offer or a cash buyer guide and script on it, and it also has a acquisitions script and guide on it, and then it also has our last our conversation that was on Friday. So comps and well, not comps, rehab on our property. Let's go back to the pictures. Okay, so. And I'll be honest, I'm really not good at looking at appliances. I really don't know how to do that myself. But really, I mean, a lot of investors won't even mess with this because this is in the basement. But, obviously there's a lot of work to be done on the interior, right? So already on the interior, you're seeing quite a bit of work that needs to be done. Maybe that roof doesn't look so amazing, or that ceiling. So what you can usually do if you don't want to calculate by item, and again, the roof, the ceiling, probably going to pick this up and put some wood flooring or something. It also depends on what's in the area. So again, if you were to look at the comps, if you remember, I think if I remember correctly, they were wood flooring, and so you probably do the same thing. But you can basically do it at 25 cent, 50 cent, 75 cent, or an even dollar, depending on. So if it's a major rehab, it's a full gut, it needs everything, there's your dollar. If it's a medium rehab, doesn't need a ton, there's your 50 cents. If it's a light rehab, just some maybe like a cosmetic thing. So it could be rented, but you want to get it top of market, there's your 25 cents. And so what you would do, let's say this one is a 75 cent because it does have a good roof. It does, let's see, it has a good roof, new gutters, new furnace, new hot water heater, needs AC, so it needs a pretty decent amount, especially if you are wanting to get it top of market, full basement, not finished. What you could do, obviously, is a big value add is finishing out that basement. That'll be a big value add, but let's call it 75 cents. So what you're going to do is 75 cents times, again, the square footage is 1792. So 0.75 times 1792. That gives you 0.75 times 1792. And then how do you, I think, do you calculate it by 100 after that? I can't remember exactly what you do after that, to be honest. Yeah, because obviously that would be like $1,000. Okay, so because I know you want to calculate that by 100. Yeah, but basically the estimate on this one would be between 50 to 75 on the rehab. And then, so let's say, again, the asking price is 115. So 115,000. Let's call it, I said between 50 and 75. So let's call it 62. So 115 plus 62.5, that's 177.5. The ARV is 210. So what you're going to do is 210. And you want to be usually at 70% of ARV minus rehab equals your ARV or equals your MAO for an investor. So then you want to be even lower than that. So times 0.7. What are you doing? 210 times. I'm just going too fast. There we go. So that really gives you, after everything's said and done, that would be, if you do it 0.7, that would be about a 150 purchase price, what they're looking to purchase or after rehab. So yeah. Right now at 115, that's a great deal for an investor. There's a 95K spread. There's, even if it is a 75K rehab, I mean, that's not an amazing flip. Some flippers will be looking for a higher return, but excuse me. That'll be a 20K return on their money. And that's including agent fees and everything on the back end as well.
I gotcha. So how do we figure out like tax liens and stuff like that on properties? Because I know that can like throw some stuff off.
So that's a whole list that you can pull. Sometimes you can get those off of PropWire. So like you could go here, and actually let me go onto the one I actually use because I don't really use PropWire too much. So if you wanted to, you could go here, tax delinquents. But I mean, most of the time, if you want, so it sounds like maybe I'm wrong. Are you asking how you can find a tax lien, like if it's on this property, or like the one that we're actually looking at, or are you asking how to find properties that do have a tax lien on them?
Yeah, like before we figure out like MAO, like it would be like, correct me if I'm wrong, it'd be good to know if there's any liens on the property. That way we can like figure that in, So
Yeah. So this one I know already doesn't, but what you can do is go here, go to property card in Indianapolis, and I think I still have this. No. What was it? 112 East Markwood. Where is the address? So then 1112 East Markwood. Maybe you have to. Oh, I think you just have to take this off. Yeah, there we go. This will tell you the seller or the owner, at least. Maybe it's, it could be another wholesaler or something. And then this will tell you basically everything you need to know. Assessment year, total assessed value. I believe you should find taxes on here. Tax. Where are you at? Well, that tells you the tax district, and from there you can go to the tax district. But I believe you should also be able to find this on PropWire. So there's no active mortgage, so they own it free and clear. Lien. Yeah. So tax delinquent, no. Tax delinquent year, it would, if they were a tax delinquent, it would tell you what year. Tax amount, how much do they pay in taxes? 1320.
Is that
year?
Now, is that like for the whole year? Or is that just a month?
That is at least semi-annual. So it's either 6 months or a year, depending on the location. This one, I'm assuming, since it says 2022, it would probably be for the whole year. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, if they were paying $13.20 a month for taxes, that'd be crazy.
That would be pretty.
But yeah, so another thing you can do is, as we saw, their tax district 501. I think you should just be able to look up 501 tax district percentage or something, Indiana percentage.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, 501. I keep saying it found it, but anyway, okay. So tax district 501, you can go to 2.9, and it's per $100. Where did I go? Where did 501 go? Here we go. So 2.92, and our property was assessed at 124.9, and so I believe if I calculate that number, 2.92 times 124.9, 124.9 times 124.9 times 2.92, or sorry, 124,900 times 0.0. Is it 0 or? Yeah, no. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this actually gave me 3,600. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I did that wrong or if what, but I mean, really, you don't really need to calculate them too often. Sometimes we might go after like a specific tax delinquent list, and that's, well, let me go back to Deal Machine. So like all of these, you have, that was screechy. Yeah, so you have a lot of tax delinquents here in Indianapolis. If you wanted to do 46227, that's an area a lot of investors like. Let's see what it gives us. There are 1,437 tax delinquents in 46227. And then another thing, when you are, and I mean, you guys, I'll do another training on this, but when you are looking for like properties to call, I would say, so what you're going to do is 46227 average home price. Or you can really just even do Indianapolis. But to make it more specific, $221,000. So you want to make that basically your cap. You don't want to go over what the average retail. And then usually, I mean, you want to, it's Indianapolis, so it's cheap. I would say maybe start at like 80 estimated value. Go here. Not once you have that, it narrows it down to 559. Most investors, they want to look for 3, 1. You can even narrow it down to houses and see, as you can tell, I mean, I'm about to eliminate all of them. Where is the square living area square foot? So ideally, you want to look for 1,000. But I think that actually, that literally removed all of them at that point. So, I mean, you don't need to be that specific. I have seen lots of deals. At the minimum, really, you want to be at least a 2-1, though. 1-1s really are not very popular at all, much harder to sell. So, I mean, if you get it on the contract, cool. It's just going to be a lot harder to sell. But yeah, single family. And I mean, obviously multifamily is an investor's cup of tea. There's specific investors who will do mobile homes, vacant land, developers, townhouses, condos are kind of popular. So if you do all of those, I mean, that gives you to 140. But what I'm setting up on the acquisition side right now is actually low equity marketing. So I got my VA hired yesterday. They're supposed to be starting today, but I might need to meet with them first. So they might be starting tomorrow. We'll see about that. And then, so before I go, let me show you guys how you can find cash buyers. And really, this is one of the easiest ways you can ever do. And this is specifically for properties that are not flips. And so this one is a flip. So we're not going to do this one. We're going to do a different one that I have right now. And that would be 3428 Kinnear Ave, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46218. Okay, and we have to reset all this. There should be a way to just reset it all. There we go. And here we go, for sale, for rent. So move it to for rent. You have a couple for rent. So obviously, that's just a sponsorship, I guess. So you have one for rent. And then if you really want to get tricky with it, what you can do is go to Zillow Rental Manager, and that'll tell you how much your property can rent for, but it also tell you what properties are being rented in the area. And so if you go here, let's go to price my rental. Here we go, 3428. No, not that one. 3428 Kinnear. And you can do this to find, like, if there are no comps on a property, and a lot of times if that's the case, it might not be a deal, because a lot of times if there's no comps, it might be like in a rural area, which is much harder to sell. But here you go. So here are lots in the area, and we can, we want to say 1 mile away. Here are a bunch of landlords who own rental properties who might be looking for a new one. And so if you really, my preference is to go after the off-market rentals, because the off-market rentals are the ones who are already being rented. And so, if you're talking to a landlord who has an on-market property, they might, depending on their experience, if they're very experienced and it's not a big deal to them, but they might be like, I really need to get my other house sold, or I really need to get my other house rented first. And then once I get that rented, then I'm open to buying new properties. But right now I'm really focused on getting this property rented. But these ones that are off market, you have like 10 right here that have what was I going to say? That have already been rented. And so see a duplex right here. And the thing is too, I mean, I've shared that sheet with you, Caden. I don't think I shared it with the team yet, but I can go ahead and send that over. And so here's what I'd say. If you're calling an investor, you're not, and if you're calling an investor to call them about a house that you want to sell to them, the house is not what you're calling them for. The house is simply your entryway to a conversation with them. And so what I mean by that is they might not buy that house, they may or may not, but they're a cash buyer. And so they may buy a different house from you 3 months from now when you have exactly what they're looking for. And so, with that being said, obviously it takes patience. And you can do this with other cash buyers too. So that's another method I'll be showing tonight is how to find other cash buyers in the area, because that's obviously what you're looking for is cash buyers. But yeah, so basically the homework I wanted to give this morning was going ahead and getting started on these Zillow Furbos. And you can do both off market, on market. I would recommend probably starting with the off market ones. Now, have you seen that document I shared with you this morning? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you were off. Yeah, I don't know why you were off the stage. Did you see that document I sent with you? I shared with you this morning, or no?
No, I'm getting it pulled up right now.
Okay, I need to clear some of these tabs, but yeah. So cash buyer script and guide, and really the way I like to have my script is question based, because you want to be asking them questions, like I said, and I'm sure you probably noticed, Caden, but I don't know if the other guys do or not, but I think I touched on this, but you want to be doing 10 to 30% of the talking. You want them to be doing majority of the talking, and so you want to be asking them questions. So, hi, my name's Tony Boutros. I'm a real estate investor in the area. I actually wholesale property in Indianapolis, and I have access to properties for sale below market value. Would you be open to doing business together by any chance? And really, if you want to, you can say, instead of that last sentence, you can say, are you open to working with a wholesaler, even if that means paying an additional fee on top of the purchase price? Because obviously, you want to make sure they are, because some people are just very, very stingy about that. Oh, I do my own marketing and whatever. And to be honest, those investors who do that are either A, huge and they have their own marketing campaign going on, or they're B, tiny. Really no in between. And really, huge investors too, they buy from wholesalers, because I mean, I think I explained this the other day, but wholesalers are putting all of the front end work to find this deal and to get it under contract at a great price, and they're getting paid for that. So if you don't want to do marketing, if you don't want to put time into getting contracts, then cool, come to me. I've got you below market properties. And so that's really all there is to it. And I mean, you can say, hi, my name's Caden. I'm a real estate investor with Reborn Solutions in the area. I'm actually wholesaling a property near where you own a rental, and I'm curious, are you looking to buy more rentals with cash? So, that's it. That's if you're calling one of these. I have so many tabs open right now. But if you're calling one of these, here we go. If you're calling one of these comps, and then, I mean, honestly, a lot of this, if you're calling a comp, you might not even go through a lot of this, because the first conversation might just be specifically about
that property that you're calling them about. But again, like long term, well, yeah, what you're going for is long term, a long term relationship. You're not just going for the deal. I mean, if you can sell this deal to an investor that you're calling, that's amazing. Perfect. Go get your money. But what we're going for is long term relationships where you can sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many deals to a investor. And so even if your first conversation, you don't touch on a lot of these topics, and I know we've gone way over 15 minutes today, but that's okay. We're in the beginning, so want to definitely get these trainings in. I could have also, to be honest, been a little bit faster with it, but even if you don't go over these in the beginning, if all you're talking about is that specific deal, you do want to still touch on all of these questions on some sort of call, whether that's a second call, third call, whatever. Now, if they're hot, I mean, if they're hot, they're ready to buy, and you're talking to them about this deal, then yeah, obviously, I mean, you're not gonna divert the conversation to talking about like getting their basic information because you already have a deal that they're already interested in. So if you want to, we can do a mock call. If not, we'll do some this evening.
Honestly, what I want to do is just like go through the whole process and just like watch. I hate to say hold my hand through it, but that's like
so. Yeah, so I will actually. I'm going to be making some calls today. I'm going to be making a lot of warm calls today, but I'll also probably make some cold calls, and I can do some cold calls to some of these furbos, and I can record myself doing it, and I can show those tonight, or I can put those into the vault of training material.
Okay.
Yeah,
we can do that. Mm-hmm.
It sounded like maybe you had something else in mind.
To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. Like I've found a couple deals, and I mean, if I gave you an address, would you pump it out in front of me and see like, oh, is this like see if this one would be a good one or not?
Yeah, and I mean that's what I was trying to do this morning, but you didn't have an address.
All right, I do have one now though. So
okay, yeah, give me an address or send it to me, or
yeah, if you have something else to do though, I mean, I understand. Like
I can do it. Well, okay. So here's what I'll do because I just showed you how to comp. So let's do this. Let's you comp it, and then I will review it. So that way you can see what you may be doing right, what you may be able to improve on. I think that'd be really the best way to go about it is if you try and do it first, and then if you need more guidance on it, I will also show you how to do it hands on. So right. I don't know what you have going on today, but yeah, if you want to do that, and I will also say that I think, in my opinion, and what I found to be successful, and what a lot of other people have found to be successful, is you want to do your people tasks during the day. And so if you're underwriting a deal, you want to be doing that early morning. So for example, I was doing a little bit of underwriting on this Morklewood deal this morning at like 7 a.m. because you're not going to be calling anyone at 7 a.m. And so really the daytime is to be working the phones for the most part, or like actually talking to people, doing tasks that require other people. If you have free time, cool. But then if you don't, then you would do that kind of thing in either morning or evening.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, since this is, like I said, I want to set you guys up in a position to succeed. And since we're new, usually this call in the morning will be a 15-minute motivation kind of thing, and one or two quick things, which it was one or two. It just wasn't so quick. But yeah, so yeah, if you want to do that and comp it out before you, like, if you don't feel confident enough, I guess, to get on the phone yet, because you want to make sure you're learning the process in that way, then we can go that way. Or our meeting today is at 4, and I may actually do it 5. But yeah, what you could do is maybe do some calls for these furloughs, because I will say, I mean, if you're, it really depends where you're at on how soon you're looking to make money, because if you're looking to make money, the quickest way to do that obviously is marketing. You know, and these deals are already under contract. These deals, if you find a buyer, they're ready to go. We're ready to close on them within the next couple of weeks, and so it's really where you're at. I would suggest either doing that tonight, or maybe if you have some time after making some calls, and most likely even doing some follow-up today after making those calls. I would say that'd be the best time to do it. Or between now and tomorrow morning, like, you know, maybe do it later tonight or do it tomorrow morning. And then 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we can talk about those. And also, I want to do some call audits once you guys do start calling. And like I said, I can record myself doing some of these calls too. I actually, I can record myself doing some of these calls and put them into the drive. And so that's my suggestion. That's the homework I would give you is for today until our meeting is really to be working these furloughs on the deals that I have that are rental deals. And I mean, because these are between $5,000 and $15,000 assignment fee, and so that would be a pretty decent payday if you were to find a buyer. And I will say that I haven't worked the furloughs yet. I was just working my list, but I am starting that this week. But yeah, if you want to do that, it's really on you how quickly you want to make money, how quickly you want to dive in, or if you feel comfortable. So
no, I got you. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into it right now. So
okay. So right now, once we get off the phone, are you gonna do the underwriting, or are you gonna do the furloughs?
Honestly, I'm gonna get into comping some deals, seeing getting some numbers down on that, and then I might even just start giving people calls. So
okay. So if you're doing that, just let me know after you comp the deals, and so that way I can review them. I can make sure you're comping them right, and then we can go from there. And then let me know if maybe it's later this morning or this afternoon when you do start making calls. And really, you can go after. I would say probably the hottest rental deal that's on that sheet right now is probably that Kenny Rehab one, the one that we just reviewed a little bit. It's a 1,200, almost 1,300 market rent. I can rent at $2,100 a month actually on Section 8, and it's only $100,000. So that's over. I don't know if you've heard of the 1% rule, but usually they want to be at 1/100th of the purchase price. So
right.
So if it's $1,000 and the rent is at $1,200, that's 12%.
Wait,
you'll hear. Huh?
Can you explain that again for me? I'm sorry.
So you'll hear it in different ways. There's some people call it the 1% rule, and some people call it a 10 cap. Some people call it a. There's another one. I usually just say 1% rule. But basically, 1% rule is 100,000 equals $1,000 rent.
Okay.
That's all it is. So for this one, it's 100,000, and it rents long term, or can rent long term, and it is currently renting at 1,000, which is below market rent, and it's only a month-to-month tenant. Landlords will care about that, by the way. Some people prefer for them to be unrented. Most people prefer for them to be no tenant. This one is month to month, so it's not a big deal, especially if they're below market rent. But yeah, so this one is a 12 cap, or technically a 1.2% rule, and that's where it becomes easier to just say a 12 cap than a than a 1% rule is like the overall thing most investors go for. Because you got to think about it too. I mean, they're not they're a landlord who's renting a property out at $1,200 a month is not, unless they're cash, is not cash flowing $1,200 a month.
Right, because they got
So
other things.
Yeah, exactly. You have costs that go into it. So I have a calculator that I use for that, but that's more of a seller finance calculator. But I will also, like I said, I'll put a document into the resource vault for how to calculate rehab as well, and then we can go from there. But yeah, if there's any, do you have any other questions before we get off?
No, I think I just need to start doing it, start diving in. So
Okay. So I am going to be making some calls to my warm leads, and really these are people that I have like actual relationships with, and so I mean, if you were to listen to one of these calls, really just be more of like a personal conversation, like I'm not being salesy at all. But yeah, I will also probably, if you're not, I can probably also do some furbos today, and even if you are, I'll probably do a couple at least just to record them, get those going so that you guys can see how I would do it and see how you guys are doing it and see where you guys might be able to improve.
All right, yeah. Well, I'm gonna start comping out some deals, and I'll send it over after I comp them out, and we'll go from there.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to just seeing that from you.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Yep, bye.